Hello, it's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randyrhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream. Change has come to America.
Believe me. Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show. Turn up your mind.
Okay, first on my list of favorite things about Trump, syphilis. The New Republic has a theory that Donald Trump may have contracted syphilis in the 1980s, around the time he looked like this. And Melania looked like this. Now, I don't want to act like Donald Trump and just spout out accusations without having any proof whatsoever, so let's take a look at the facts. According to WebMD, the symptoms of syphilis are Exhibit A, patchy hair loss. Exhibit B, visual problems and squinting. Exhibit C, trouble walking and loss of athletic prowess. Syphilis can also make you have paranoid thoughts, like the mainstream media is out to get you, or all Mexicans are rapists, or a black guy wiretapped your deluxe apartment in the sky. Syphilis can also make you irritable and manic.
Don't be rude. Attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you give us a question?
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you stay categorical?
You are fake news.
Go home to mommy. Go home. Bye. Go home to mommy. Go home to mommy.
I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, and I wouldn't lose any voters.
Syphilis also gives you megalomania, narcissism, and delusions of grandeur.
I'm really rich. I'm like a smart person. I beat China all the time.
Nobody has more respect for women than I do.
I know words. I have the best words. I have a winning temperament. I know how to win.
I'm the least racist person.
Nobody builds walls better than me, believe me.
And finally, syphilis can impair your judgment and memory, which might make someone forget things that they've said in the past.
I never said repeal and replace Obamacare. You've all heard my speeches. I never said repeal it and replace it within 64 days.
We will be able to immediately repeal and replace Obamacare.
I'm very pro-choice.
I am pro-life.
Hillary Clinton, I think, is a terrific woman.
Replenish the Social Security Trust Fund.
Don't worry about that baby. I love babies. So I love babies. I hear that baby crying. I like. Actually, I was only kidding. You can get the baby out of here.
Now, I'm not a doctor, so I can't claim Donald Trump has syphilis because of laws. But as the saying goes, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it probably fucked some questionable models in the 80s.
Oh, my God. Syphilis. I never thought of that. I hadn't thought of the syphilis. This could explain everything. He does. He has all the signs of degenerative syphilis. But then, to be fair, he has all the signs of every disease that impairs your brain. Every disease. I mean, he's like, you know, what you think would happen if you dropped your baby on its head when, the baby still had the cradle cap. This is exactly what you think will happen, and you panic and you run to the emergency room. I dropped my baby on it. I don't want him to grow to be Trump. He's all syphilitic and stuff. Yeah, I mean, we don't know what's wrong with him. Is it a chemical imbalance? Is it cocaine? Is it amphetamines? Is it crystal meth? Is it, I tell you, he has all the signs of somebody who played 10 years in the NFL without a helmet. And then was like a bare-knuckle boxer at night who spiced his food with ground lead and aluminum. This is what's wrong with him, I'm guessing, But I like Chelsea's diagnosis via WebMD. WebMD, it's the place where you start when you get a diagnosis, and then you start to become an expert in whatever it is. So I'm going to go with syphilis. Like she said, we can't say definitively that he has it because of laws. But hey, man, it's a good shot in the dark, right? I mean, this guy, this is amazing. I mean, Jared. It's all Jared now. Now Jared. I mean, we had Carter Page. We had Paul Manafort. We have Jeff Sessions having to recuse himself. We have Michael Flynn having to resign in shame. Mike Pence being sent letters from Elijah Cummings, like way back in the summer. And now Jared. This Jared is making the Jared from Subway look good. Do you know what I'm saying? And he was a child molester. Just saying. I feel bad for Jared Jewelers though, because they're all about selling the love, and now it's like a nightmare for them. Change your name and stay. It's like even Hindu Kush. You know what I mean? Change the name. It's just it's so negative. It's just got a negative connotation. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good. But here's Jared implicated even more deeply now in this Russia scandal. And the White House is sitting there scratching their head and various other body parts going, oh my God, who's going to do everything? You know who has to be relieved by all this? I'm telling you, it's like Jared Kushner is the son of a guy who was put in jail. You know this, Jared's father. Went to the federal pen, and his father was found guilty of witness tampering, blackmailing, and that he was like one of the world's biggest con men. So apparently Jared was looking for a father figure and found one in Trump. I mean, I just get this feeling that is what he was looking for, and for Jared, a father figure is a small time crook. It was probably love at first sight, I think. And the way that they talk about each other, Trump just, loving the Jared, loving him more than the Don Jr., more than the Eric. Don't you get, do you see Eric in the White House? Do you see Don Jr.? No, you see Jared, the son-in-law. Sort of, despotism plus nepotism equals financial crimes. But Jared, it's Jared in the White House. And the first big move after Jared's dad went to prison was to make the most expensive single property purchase in the history of the United States of America. I keep telling you, this is really true. The address of this Fifth Avenue building is 666 Fifth Avenue. Oh my God, you talk about doing due diligence. Check the address, idiot. What good could come from that? They don't even have a 13th floor in a lot of, New York buildings because they think that's bad luck. But it's okay to give an just skip the 664, then you skip right to 668. What would be the big damn deal? But no, he buys 666, the mark of the beast on Fifth Avenue. And he pays $1.8 billion for 666, or about twice what it was actually worth. And then the market crashes. It is the devil's real estate. It truly is. And so he owes this money now on this satanic boondoggle, and perhaps this is why he was driven to Russian bankers. You see, the problem I have with the story that broke right after we signed off on Friday, there was a lot of Friday has become like the day for news. Friday used to be almost your free day. Friday was open line Friday. Friday was talk about whatever you want day. Friday was the light day. Friday was the easier. Now Friday, I think because, Jared, an observant Orthodox Jew, takes leave at 4:30 to observe Shabbat and leaves the baby man-child with the syphilis on his own to tweet. And all this stuff breaks on Friday afternoon. It's just like the most amazing day now for news. It used to be where all news went to die. Now it's like, be on alert every day at 5 o'clock, and Friday especially. So this all comes out on Friday. That Jared was looking to, I don't know why they're calling it a back channel. This isn't a back channel. The intelligence departments handle back channel. State Department handles a back channel. The president's son-in-law does not set up back channels before the president is the president. After there's been a claim by all 16 intelligence agencies that the Russians hacked into our election files, into the Democratic National Committee, the GOP, and our election voter registration files, and attempts were made in more than half the states. 4 of them were successful hacks, and we don't know what happened to the information, but we do know all of a sudden some small little company that Jared found in San Antonio now has everybody's IP address and knows who's a likely Hillary voter in key swing states. Coincidence? So now we find out that in December, or last summer, Jared tries to set up a back channel between himself, Michael Flynn, who had to resign in shame because he was taking money from the Russians and failed to tell anybody about it. And as an ex-military general and head of the the Department of National Intelligence, he is prohibited from taking foreign money, but he does so. And then he gets caught when it hits the press. Only after it hits the press is he fired. And Trump now walks around saying, you know, I really want to clear his name because I want to bring him back. And him and Jared were the two that were recorded. You're talking, these are intercepted conversations between Russians to Russians saying, oh man, we can really turn Flynn. Flynn is like really exceptionally open to us. And you know, this Jared kid, he wants to open up back channels to us even after we hack their election. And check this out, Kislyak says to another Russian, he wants to do it out of the Russian embassy. He wants to do it on Russian soil. You know, the embassy in the United States is Russian soil, just like the American embassy in Russia is American soil. You have every former CIA head of Russia operations, of Russia security, of cybersecurity, all on the TV all weekend long saying, oh my God, we've never seen anything like this, except for General John Kelly, who said this is very normal. Nobody else thinks it's normal. Nobody does. Now, Trump, we can see, is trying to break up NATO on this last foreign trip. This is why everybody's saying that trip was a freaking disaster. A disaster. You have Angela Merkel telling the German people from a podium, from a stage, we can't rely on the United States anymore. We're on our own. Reaching out to our NATO allies who fought with us in Iraq and died, and fought with us in Afghanistan and died, saying you can't count on America anymore, and they don't want to share their intel with us. And Trump is lining up with Russia, attacking Germany. Is this 1944? I don't think he remembers World War II or what 1944 led to. I don't think he understands it. He has no idea what happened. But this is what he's doing. It's just amazing. And the White House keeps tweeting and tweeting and tweeting that this is all normal. Oh, you know what, Sean Spicer, just give the press briefing today in Russian. All he said was "niet." Every question he was asked today, the answer was no comment. No, I don't know how to say comment in Russian, but I know how to say no. Niet. Niet comment. Comment niet. I don't know if they put it before or after. But, Homeland Security John Kelly is out there and he's saying, I have no problem with this. I have no problem. So much for Homeland and so much for security when it comes to General John Kelly. I mean, he says, I think anytime you can open lines of communication with anyone, whether they're good friends or not so good friends, it's a smart thing to do. Hey, somebody phone what's his name? Edward Snowden. Somebody call him up and tell him it's okay to come home now. Giving information to unfriendly governments to leak to the, and what Jared Kushner, he's like, what is he going to do? Live in the Russian embassy like a preppy Julian Assange? I mean, this is unbelievable to me. This is just amazing. Oh, and you know what else he tweeted today that nobody really noticed? He tweeted the United States Senate should switch to 51 votes immediately and get health care and tax cuts in capital letters approved. You do realize that both of those bills can pass with 51 votes in reconciliation, right? Because they're supposedly revenue neutral. Somebody don't tell him anything. He does not know how to govern. Don't even help him. I was going to tweet him back and I said, why am I helping him? And then I thought, because he's got syphilis. He's got a syphilitic brain. But he's also the president. I mean, this is just so freaking weird. And then what happened in Portland, just disgusting. And that after Montana. Now you have all these hate people just feeling so emboldened. It's just like I said, they're cockroaches. These people with these, this white supremacy, Nazi love, this crazy alt-right fanaticism and this love of all things fascist, they're like cockroaches. And somebody, Trump turned on the light or turned off the light And now they're all feeling very emboldened. It's very sick what's going on here. Go to RandiRhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.